Hey everyone, in this video we're going to do some financial statement analysis on Palantir stock. But don't worry, I'm going to keep this really simple. I understand many of you watching this video are not financial professionals, you haven't been to business school maybe, and you just want to get more information about Palantir stock. So I'm going to try and make this as accessible as possible, but still financial statements can be complex documents. So if there's anything that confuses you, please don't hesitate to ask questions in the comment section below. There's a chance that most viewers have the same question you might have. So it would be helpful for all viewers if you were to ask your question in the comment section. All right, without further ado, let's jump right in. Let's take a look at Palantir's financial statement.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
All right, so what I have here is Palantir's latest quarterly 10Q statement. This is for the period, the 3 months that ended September 30th, 2023 for Palantir. All right, let's start with the overview. Palantir says that they build software that empowers organizations to effectively integrate their data, decisions, and operations at scale. They were founded in 2003, so this is now a more than 20-year-old company. And finally, for the first time ever, Palantir will have a profitable year in 2023. That's what all indications point to. Palantir has recently deployed their newest offering, the Artificial Intelligence Platform, AIP, to select customers. So it's not broadly rolled out yet, it's AI solution. The AIP uniquely allows users to connect large language models with their data and operations to facilitate decision making within the legal, ethical, and security constraints that they require. And this is important because this is not just like going on to ChatGPT and using it to inform your decision making at your company. This is more critical. This is more in compliance with regulatory concerns. You can't, if you're one of these companies, let's say you're a bank or a financial institution that's heavily regulated, there's limits to how you can use large language models in your business. Palantir helps these corporations use large language models in a compliant way, in a way that doesn't raise red flags with regulators. So far, we haven't seen a huge explosion in Palantir's revenue as a result of this new AIP, but there is indication that it could be the case given the increasing demand for AI. So far, really, Nvidia is the company that's arguably benefiting the most from the increasing effectiveness of AI. We haven't seen very many other companies experience an explosion like Nvidia has experienced. So we're all still waiting to see if that's going to happen or if this was just a one-off for Nvidia and everyone else is just having to pay Nvidia for their GPUs and trying to figure out how to effectively utilize and monetize artificial intelligence. So in the short term, their focus remains on making their software platforms available to increasingly broad swaths of the market. This is, I think, a major key for Palantir stock investors is for Palantir to make their services more broadly available. Right now, Palantir is one of the best in class enterprise solutions. However, they are very expensive and unaffordable to most companies and institutions. And we'll see a little bit later, they don't have very many customers. And so if they can make their service available more broadly, that could be the key that unlocks phenomenal growth for Palantir. So I'm glad to see Palantir working on this in the short term. So during the period that ended September 30th, Palantir had 453 customers. Just 453 customers. That's not that many. So it was an increase from last year where they had 337 customers, but still in the hundreds of customers, that's not that big in terms of customers. But in terms of revenue, they've got a lot of revenue. And we're going to see it's because the average revenue for the top 20 customer during the trailing 12 months was 53.7 million. That's the average revenue per customer, which grew 13% from an average of 47.7 million in the trailing 12 months. Now, that's good news that they're increasing their spend with their highest value customers. That demonstrates that the customers are getting great value. Even though it's expensive, they're getting great value. Otherwise, they wouldn't increase their spending if they weren't getting great value for their spending. So it's clear that Palantir has an excellent customer value proposition, which is one of the more important characteristics I look for in an investment. And it's one of the reasons I recently upgraded Palantir stock to a buy. But 53 million is a lot. And even their lower 80 customers, not their top 20 customers, are still paying a hefty sum for their services. So in the 9 months that ended September 30th, 56% of their revenue came from government and 44% from commercial institutions, and 62% of their revenue came from the US and 38% from the non-US. So if you're looking at the core of Palantir's business, it's US government institutions is the core, and then they have some, other areas where they're growing, but the US government customer is their core. I've been looking for Palantir to increase their penetration with commercial customers. There's a bigger opportunity with enterprises compared to governments. Governments is a good place to start because they have a lot of spending power. However, there's a limited amount of government institutions compared to how many businesses there are in the world. So I'd like to see Palantir make more inroads with commercial customers. And the key to that is going to be to make their service more affordable, to be able to offer their service at a lower price while still generating good profit and cash flow. And they mentioned that the speed at which their platform can be deployed has expanded. And so that has expanded the range of potential customers which they plan on partnering over the long term. So that's good news. They're making progress, making it easier to implement their service, and that could lead to expanding opportunities. All right, so what we're looking at here is Palantir's income statement. This includes its revenue and all of the costs to generate that revenue. And Palantir has done an excellent job in the last year in increasing revenue while controlling costs. I've highlighted some key figures to look at here. Revenue, you can see, has increased both in the last quarter and in the last 9 months. In the last quarter, up to 558 million from 477 million. But you could see the cost of revenue barely increased from 107.6 million to 107.9 million. That's impressive to grow your revenue while keeping costs essentially flat. And I love the area where they controlled costs. General and administrative costs decreased by 20 million, from 148 million to 128 million. These are the costs to support the business indirectly. These are things like human resources, the salaries for management, the board of directors, CEO, CFO, and all that. Things that I like companies to bring down. Keep those costs down. Corporate headquarters rent, travel expenses, the Christmas party expense, things like that is included in general and administrative. And this is the area I'd like to see companies be very, very controlled in keeping these spending levels down. Areas like research and development, I don't mind if companies spend more here, especially if they are companies that have demonstrated that they can create innovative products and services that their customers are willing to pay for. In other words, their R&D spending is producing products and services that's leading to significant revenue. So if they've demonstrated success in that regard, continue spending there, right? That's what you want. That's what creates the products and services. So I like that area of increase in spending. Sales and marketing. This is also impressive with Palantir in that they increased revenue while decreasing sales and marketing from 182.9 million down to 176.3 million, right? You can always increase revenue by adding to your sales and marketing budget. If you do more advertising, if you offer more promotions, more discounts, more coupons, you can increase sales. But it's more impressive if you increase sales while reducing sales and marketing, which is precisely what Palantir did. And then lastly, I'll highlight Palantir's interest income exploded from just 5.5 million in the last quarter to 36.8 million in the current 3-month quarter. And the same thing with the 9 months ended September 30th compared to 2022. Interest income soared to 88 million, up from 7 million. That's because Palantir has a cash balance of over $3 billion and interest rates rose over 5%. And they benefited by just putting that cash balance in extremely safe money market funds, government bonds, and they generated significant interest income, which is likely to persist in 2024, given that interest rates are still high, even though they've moved down slightly. So there you have it, an introductory look into Palantir's financial statement. If you liked the video you just saw and you want to see more just like it, please subscribe to the channel. I can't keep this channel free without the support of viewers like you. And if you're already subscribed, thank you, and I appreciate your support.